Okay. 29th of August. Today was a little bit scuffed, I won't lie. I had to really go over my rules and habits and make sure they were. I've actually written them down and I've put them on a piece of paper and stuck it on my desk. So I will literally just tick it off if it's been met. It's I'm not gonna not see it. It's constantly on my desk. I'm constantly being reminded that I need to follow these rules and these are really important. In terms of what happened today, I overtraded. I straight up overtraded, and there isn't really an excuse for it apart from, well, the reason I initially overtraded was genuinely my monitors both crashed. I was trying to fix my Wi-Fi. Monitors both crashed as I was kind of looking for a setup, and then I came back and the setup had already gone, and I was just a bit pissed, and I was like, right, just kind of itching to re-enter, and re-entered, got stopped, and I was like, okay. Then I re-entered again, and I made money. It's just bad habits. I think I am up on the day. I don't know. It won't be much. I actually don't know. How much is this? Yeah, $20. Yeah, I'd rather have nothing than that, to be honest, because that's not. Well, I should have stepped away with a loss and learnt my lesson than making $20. Like, that's not something which is valuable to me. But going over what happened, we had this big straight up move, which is just this won't happen all the time. This is very rare in price that we'll just see a move up like this with any sort of retrace or any sort of, I guess, more structure to validate what's going on. But basically, once this hourly fair value gap got ran through, we know the draw on liquidity is higher, so I was looking for longs. I don't think there was anything in the AM session I liked. Nope, literally just a big push up. I don't have any edge here, so this is just when you just sit on your hands. There's no trades in this window of London, so didn't take anything there. Let's check ES. Yeah, literally just a big move up, no trades. Then it came to the PM where it started getting a bit nuts. So I think it was here where I was looking to take a trade, which would have. The annoying part about it was because the trade was so perfect that I think I was just so frustrated that I missed it and was just blaming so many different things that caused me to spiral. And psychology is so important in this game. Like, this is not something I can be just doing. That is not okay. That I should be doing. That I should be overtrading. That is a clear rule of mine not to overtrade. I've now quantified it, so that will not happen again. But I saw this 5-minute fair value gap. Note the draws haven't been taken. Come up. Didn't take the draws, come back down, sweep this level with turtle soup. We push up, and I think it was somewhere around here my monitors went off and the Wi-Fi, and it was just scuffed for this whole time. Came back around here, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the thing is, there's always going to be more opportunity. The fucking markets aren't going anywhere, so I shouldn't be pissed. If anything, I should just be like, okay, whatever, and then just focus. But there was this internal SMT. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so where was the. I took a loss somewhere here. I'm not sure where I took a loss. I think I had a really tight. I don't know why it's not marked in. Maybe it was on ES. No. I might have deleted it in Rage, but it must have been this because I've marked this on. I think I had potentially, I think I just whacked a long in here and I got stopped out and then remarked it in as an SMT, but I'm pretty sure I got stopped here. Came back up. Also, today was super scuffed in terms of these highs were taken, but then the absolute external draw wasn't taken on either pushes, which is just uncharacteristic, to be honest. That 85% of the time this external draw should be taken. This was the reason we're going higher. Did we take it on ES? Okay, we took it on ES, so there was an SMT, but four ticks or something off that. But yeah, took a nice long here, saw this 1 minute fair value gap, and one thing I want to talk about is in entry models and how to use risk to your advantage. So I'm pretty sure came down, tapped this fair value gap, I entered long, stop I think I moved my stop to this low and then rode it up to those highs. The model which you want to do is, say there's an area you expect to reject. So I expect to reject here. So you take a long with small size when we enter the fair value gap. Literally just entering it. It could be here, it could be here. Just entering this 1 minute. So say I enter here, stop at the low, and obviously targeting the external. When we see either turtle soup or displacement, we re-enter and adjust for size. So then when this move happens here, push up, fair value gap, you can then re-enter with another 1 or 2 contracts and then adjust your size, which is what I did. What could happen, which is annoying, but it does happen, is we get a little fake out. So we'll respect the 1 minute, we'll push up, create a fair value gap, and then we'll come right back down, sweep, and then do this, and then this becomes the turtle soup entry. And what will happen is, if I've moved my stop here and then we've disrespected this fair value gap, stop me out, and then we want to reverse, that's totally fine. I'll just re-enter. It's not like, oh, this was all wrong because this 1 minute held, we displaced up, forming this, and then, this gets ran through, and then we stop out, myself and everyone else. I can just re-enter and look for basically the same thing again. So if this happens, this becomes turtle soup, which is when there's a sweep of liquidity in an area I already expect to reject. Then again, I wait. I'd be patient, wait for the displacement, fair value gap, and then pull up. So either way, I'm capitalizing on this area. But the reason why this area is so important is because we've just had, 1, we know the draw on liquidity is higher. 2, we've bounced off of this 5 minute fair value gap with turtle soup, so we know this is at least a draw. We have a small little 1 minute fair value gap here, and an SMT, big displacement back up, causing there to be a 1 minute fair value gap. So I expect this to hold. There isn't really a reason, following this context, that this should get run through. So using that logic, you place a long, stop, pretty loose, providing space for this fair value gap to fuck about a bit, wait for that displacement or the turtle soup, whatever it is, enter with your full size. So for me it would be 2 contracts here and then 2 contracts here, and then adjust my risk and then ride it up. Then I should have fucking stepped away. I don't know how much I was up, maybe I'm not sure, 400 maybe. And I noticed that this external level was never taken, so I was like, that's interesting. Because the whole reason we were going to move higher was for this external level, but buy side has been taken, so I shouldn't be looking for longs. Then I see this huge sell-off, so I'm like, right, okay, we're going to reverse here, because we swept buy side. I think there was an SMT. Just get rid of this shit. We run through this bullish fair value gap, big displacement, so now I'm thinking, right, this is at least a draw, and potentially this. So then I wait for an internal model, same thing as before. Also there's this 1 minute that opened up as well. Which is here, so this is the 1 minute getting run through. This is the trade, so I think what happened here was, what I just explained, I didn't apply to this trade when I should have, and that's why this one got stopped, and then I re-entered here, and it was a bad trade. I don't even think I took off. I think I saw this SMT, and I thought it was too... Yeah, so I noted it as an internal SMT, and realistically, I should have just taken everything off, especially after losing this trade. I should have taken everything off down here, because that's still a, 1 to nearly 3. Like, it's not bad. I don't think I took it off, and I think I got stopped. So these two ate back that win I just had, and this is just overtrading. This, you should not have 3 trades like this, especially not in close succession. Bear in mind, my rule that's now written down is 2 losses, step away. No matter what, even if it's tiny or huge, 2 losses, fucking step away. There's no point spiraling and overtrading like this. I don't even know what this is. I'll go over this, but this is awful. The trade here that should have happened is big push down. We come up, we tag it here, so my stop is here, and it'll be on the 1 minute, so it would be stop loss top of the wick, so here. That would be my entry 1, where I enter half my size, targeting the initial low. The initial low here as take profit 1, and then because I've seen this big drop, I want to go lower. I'd also target these lows down here. So then I'd manage my position. So then I'd be like, yo, okay, this is now turtle soup. So we've come down with big displacement. Now this is what I just explained. So we're touching the 1 minute fair value gap, and we've just run through this. So I expect price to go lower. We've tapped, and then we've displaced. So in theory, you'd re-enter again here, and then adjust your stop here. If you do this, because that's the same as what I did here, you have to be 1, have great psychology, and 2, be able to react. So once this then comes up and swipes for turtle soup, again wait for displacement fair value gap, and no fair value gap. We just chop, we're creating low resistance liquidity. This is, I put a stop rate, this is another turtle soup entry. Bang, turtle soup, you need to see some sort of fair value gap, again created or disrespected. So, actually that's why I took this trade. That's why that's there. So yeah, I saw this fair value gap, it got run through, I treated it as inverse. I think I took this stop rate here as my entry. So actually, it's a pretty nice entry. But again, I should be taking it off a decent amount here. I don't know why I had such a big runner. I think it was just because we looked so bearish and we just swiped all that buy side. So I was like, okay, we're gonna, and this is a good time as well. So I'm expecting there to be more volume. So I'm expecting a sell off here, and then we just go straight back up, run through my stops, and again, we don't take out the internal or external high, creating SMT. And I tried to be reactive, so when this happened, and I saw this 1 minute get created, SMT in a small time frame, big push up, fair value gap, entered long, expecting this to be the draw. Again, I reckon 60-70% of the time, these two get taken out from this market maker buy model. Saw this internal SMT, didn't think much of it, and then it reversed on me and I got stopped out. So I'm not actually super mad about this trade. This trade isn't bad, but again, this SMT, I should have at least put my stop to break even to account for the fact we could reverse, or just straight up taken off there because there was an SMT. Then my SMT, big sell off. This is the, yeah, like this is just chopped. No, again, we didn't swipe this external level. Like it's so sus, if I'm honest. I'm gonna try and now work out why, or what's the best way to go about that 1 minute entry. So I'm thinking now, so when it first tags, I enter 2 contracts, we stop up here. Okay, I think my new rule is going to be, but that would directly mean that the trade I made earlier would be invalidated. So I was going to say that in this 1 minute here, where I entered, Okay, I know. So in this 1 minute where I entered, and then we had displacement up with this fair value gap, that is the same as this 1 minute fair value gap displacement. That this here is the same as this here. The difference is this is going towards the draw on liquidity with context to already in a bullish trend going up. This is off a big fat candle move down. The draw on liquidity is not lower yet, purely because we haven't taken this high. And we're just fucking chopping like a motherfucker. This is way more efficient price action. But again, would I be mad about this? Displacement down, stop to the high, get stopped, re-enter. I'm not sure. I need to go over and journal this and work out what's the best way to negate this. I guess you could always just keep the stop at the high, but then that's just bad risk if you're entering big size. Well, at least for my risk plan, I would prefer to, when I scale in, reducing risk. Yeah, and this is, so I'll just go over the rules I've created for myself, which will hopefully stop all this shit from happening in the future and stop me from giving away profits, blowing accounts, all the fucking bullshit that comes with overtrading and over leveraging. Oh yeah, not to mention, after these two lost, when I took this trade, I was in, I think, like fucking 7 contracts or something ridiculous, because I was like so confident that we would go to this high. And to be fair, I still am. Like, I still would have been confident if I see this again that we're going to these highs. But that doesn't mean confidence in a trade shouldn't dictate. Well, no, it should dictate how many contracts you use. But the reason I was using size wasn't because of how confident. It was more because I just lost these two and wanted to make back profits, which is a really fucking bad habit. Really fucking bad habit. This would never have happened if I stepped away here after losing this. If I lose this, bang, step away. I do not give a fuck what's going on after this. After this, I just step away. This never would have happened. Okay, say this wins. That's a really fucking bad habit, because I'm going to learn that, once I've lost, I can just regain back my profits and use more leverage and more size and gain even more back. So this doesn't even matter. No, that's not how it works. This lost, step away, learn from the mistake. I try not to do this again, and definitely don't do this ever. So, yeah, I think I also took, no, I don't think I took any on ES. Yeah, just a bit scuffed on the day as well. I should have recognized bad PA. The fact that external wasn't taken, there was just a fucking comical level of SMTs on both sides. So yeah, the rules I've set up are 2 losses. So I trade London and I trade New York. So if I have 2 losses, I step away, literally just step away for that session. So if it's London, I'll step away, come back in New York. And if it's New York, I'll just step away and wait for tomorrow or the next day. If I have a win in either session, I then proceed, if I'm trading again, to use low size, so 1 to 2 contracts maximum, or I step away and I step away. So I haven't really got a rule if once I've won, if I make a trade, if that wins or loses, I don't really give a fuck about that. But definitely stepping away is important once you win. You don't want to give back profits, which is exactly what I did today. So once I win, I'm not going to use anywhere near my normal size. My max position size is going to be 4 contracts. So if I'm super confident on one setup, I'll put all 4 in one. If it's something like what I described with the turtle soup entry, where it's I enter 1 just on the retrace, and then I enter 2 in the retrace, then another 2 once I get confirmation that this is the correct draw. So I'll have 4 scaled in, then I'll adjust my stop. Maybe if I'm a bit less confident on a trade, because I don't know, whatever the situation is, maybe I'll use 3 contracts or 2, but the maximum is 4, no matter what, with scaling or not. So I could scale 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 or whatever, or 1, 1, 1, 1, but yeah. If I go over 4 contracts at all during the stop loss or take profit, I've broken my rules. And this is another one. Trades must be based off external draw. That would have negated both of these trades, and these would never have been taken. This one technically still would have been taken, but then if these two had already lost, then this... Well, technically, if I wouldn't have traded these two, because I'm not in favor of the draw, I would have traded this. But then it wouldn't have been with crazy leverage and crazy size. It would just be a normal, 2 contract loss. So what actually did I see here in this trade? Let's just get rid of this now that I've explained what that is. So has stop raid here, big push up with big displacement. We ran through this imbalance. So now I'm thinking, if this has got ran through, we've just stopped out traders here, and we've created this. I expect the draw to be this high and the external high. So I see this 1 minute fair value gap. Which was, why the fuck is there so many? So this 1 minute fair value gap. I entered in with my stop. Why the fuck does it keep resetting like that? That's so retarded. So my stop would be the low, the wick here, and then targeting the external draw. So that would be 2 contracts, and then once I see displacement, I'll then scale in. So bang, entered, big displacement up. Oh, that's why there's more fair value gaps, because I was going to re-enter, yeah. So I saw this, so I was like, oh, okay, draw's clearly higher. When I get retrace, enter another 2 contracts. So I think I was like, I think I ended like 4 here, and then scaled into like another 3 here or some bullshit, and then obviously I adjusted my stop to where we just displaced out of, so I didn't want to see price come back down here. And then we just get completely run through. This SMT ends up being telling the narrative, and yeah. Lesson learned. SMT not in favor of my draw. I'm just going to put everything to break even like this, and then I'm just going to lose no money, or I'm going to scale at least something out, which normally I do. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just way too money driven today, which is not a good habit at all. Anyway, now that I fucking ranted and covered the dead trades I made today, let's go over the draw and liquidity for tomorrow, and not spiral. So tomorrow, what day is tomorrow? Friday. Okay, what news have we got? Okay, 10 AM. Well, I don't trade after 10 anyway, so that's fine. And I traded 2, so PMI. Okay, it's gonna be volatile tomorrow, but that's chill. Let's see. Let's go over the draw on liquidity. Oh yeah, was that all my rules? No, that wasn't. Yeah, I'm only gonna enter on 1 pair. Normally I enter on both because they're correlated, and if I'm confident in one, then I'm most likely going to be confident in the other. But that's not how manipulation works, so I'm only going to enter on 1 from now on. And if there's bad PA, I'm going to step away. I'll just show you what bad PA is real quick. So I can just find an example. Yeah, this is actually a good example. Okay, so bearish price action, fair value gap, we expect this to hold or get ran through. Okay, so it gets ran through to the upside, so I'm expecting high prices. We create a bullish one now, so I'm expecting this to hold. We kind of hold it, bang, sell off. So I'm like, okay, maybe this bearish fair value gap was just, wicked above, and maybe it pulled down, and maybe this is an inverse. Okay, so in this case, it actually did work as that, and that this fair value gap was just wicked above. This is inverse, pushes down, and then we sell off. But in terms of what's happening here as well, there's another bearish fair value gap, again, gets disrespected. Okay, so the draw is now higher because we've disrespected an area I expect to reject. So I'm going to go seek this high, but then no, we wick above it, and then we come back down and sell off. So this is bad price action. If you're if you want efficient markets, you want bullish or bearish PD arrays and fair value gaps to be respected. For example, this is not what you want to see. If there's a 1 minute fair value gap like this getting completely disrespected with 2 candles, like a decent amount below the fair value gap, we do not expect this move back up. Like this is not how my edge works, and not what price should be doing. If I'm being honest, in terms of disrespect it, come up, and then we just There is probably more context which I'm not seeing, which is this. I think we're actually in an hourly fair value gap or some bullshit. Yeah, so there is more context, but in terms of bad PA is when we're disrespecting, respecting, and disrespecting, respecting, and just going in like a little fucking chop circle, which is really an accumulation phase. But you don't want to be stuck in an accumulation phase. You want to be in a distribution phase, which is when PD arrays will be respected. If I can find, this is an example of a proper distribution phase. Bullish fair value gap doesn't even get tapped. Bullish fair value gap doesn't get tapped. Bullish fair value gap. This case is a bit different because it's a 5 minute, so it has more room and more time, but I'd say this got respected. Here, this bullish one got respected. Here is an example. We disrespect this, but then the draw overall is higher, so we shouldn't be looking for shorts anyway. But bad PA, I'm now going to step away. Okay, let's go over my draw for tomorrow. Okay, so interesting. Okay, we're in now technically we're at daily fair value gap. Again, like I said yesterday, all this low resistance liquidity, which I expect at some point to just expand through more equal highs. This was the external level which I wanted to get taken out initially, which just didn't, which is very sus. And now I've got extreme stacked equal highs here. This could be just a rebalancing price leg, and then this 4 hour could potentially hold, and then we'll go see all of these highs, but I'm not going to predict, I'm just going to react. There's tomorrow's open, all this liquidity up here, equal highs in the 4 hour fair value gap. So I think I'm going to be bullish, even though we've had this big sell-off. We are on a daily, we are on a 4 hour, we've got a reason to go higher. Here's our generated sell side. And we've also got lots of fair value gaps. So in a situation like this, when there's so many fair value gaps, you're like, oh, I don't want to take a long, because we might come up here and retrace, or it might come up here and sell, or here and sell. Like there's multiple areas where price could react. So what you have to do is, say price bombs through this fair value gap. So by the strategy, say this wasn't here, and we just had this fair value gap. If we run through this fair value gap, then the draw is higher, because we've disrespected an area we expect to reject. So if anything, we're going to come back, retest, and go higher. But the fact that there's another one above it means you just have to wait and be patient. This you can't expect to run through this, come down, and then just instantly run through the other one. You just have to wait. And what that waiting looks like is just going to be something like this, and it's just going to eventually get run through, and then we'll go up. This is a really bad depiction because this is low resistance liquidity, but you get what I mean. So if I was to go long here to target this and even higher, I'd need to see some sort of sweep of liquidity, some sort of fair value gap, sweep of liquidity, big push with big displacement causing a market structure shift, pull back and then buy. Or just chop or whatever, and then big displacement through both of these. If this top one gets disrespected, then we're 100% going up here. Or 99% sure if we disrespect this, we're going to go seek these highs. So then I'd look for a retest into this area and then buy. Equally though, what might happen is you might just come up here, form some sort of sell model, and then sell off to the downside. So I'm really just going to be waiting. I'm not going to have a clear, I don't have a clear bias right now, but I am more bullish, seeing as we're in this 4 hour and this daily, and there's a reason to go higher. And we've also swept out this sell side level here. Now, how's ES looking? Ooh, yes, okay, interesting. So ES tagged that daily really nicely, actually. So again though, if this is a buy model, I still expect an expansion up to this high. This daily fair value gap down here. Down to the 4 hour. Again, we've got stacked highs, we've got equal highs here. We've come down, we've swept sell side, we're pushing up, a big displacement, we're now retracing back down to this 4 hour fair value gap. I think if we disrespect this 4 hour, we're gonna go seek this low and this daily. There's actually another sell side level here. But if we hold this 4 hour, then I expect the draw to be higher. Let's mark in tomorrow. 8. Yeah, pretty much the exact same thing on ES with the fair value gaps. He's either going to get disrespected or they're going to get respected, and we're going to sell off lower. And then this will be generated sell side, and then this is true. The good thing about this move, which I quite like, is there's no swing low here. So in terms of sweeping of liquidity, there's no level apart from this sell side level that would be your target. You can't just target this little fair value gap because it's there. You have to target, you don't have to, but liquidity is going to be the main reason we're going to push lower, not to rebalance to this 15-minute. And if we were to rebalance this 15-minute, there's no reason that this 15-minute would hold to then go higher. That's just not how it works. So yes, I'm going to be either waiting again for these two to get disrespected and then go see buy side and those equal highs, or these will hold, will form some sort of sell model, and I'll sell off down to this buy side level, this sell side level, and the sell side level that's nestled into that daily fair value gap. So yeah, bit of a weird day, to be honest. One to learn from as well. I need to, after this I'm gonna, well, this was kind of like my journaling, but I'm gonna journal on paper as well and make sure that I stick to these rules. What makes a profitable trader isn't the big wins or the I'd say so consistently winning is a sign you're profitable. But if you consistently win and consistently lose, if you consistently win but then have a big loss, it proves that you don't know how to risk manage, because the only outcomes you should be having are big wins, small losses, or small wins. There is no big loss in there. A big loss means you've managed risk really badly, or your psychology is bad, or both. There's not a scenario where you have a big loss. That's just not a thing in trading. And then if you extrapolate that and have a good risk in terms of ratio, over time you'll make money, because you're not going to have those big losses which are going to wipe you out. And that's something today where I had big losses which wiped out all the profits, and then yeah, so I need to fucking lock in, and yeah, I'll rewatch this video and make sure it doesn't happen again. What I probably should do is, if I break one of these rules, I should probably have some sort of punishment, but I think for now I can just be disciplined enough to just follow the rules. But if I can't, then I'm gonna have to condition myself, because I'll do whatever it fucking takes. Alright, that's my draw. Those are the trades covered. So I'll be streaming tomorrow at 8. And yeah, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Yeah, I'm enjoying doing this. This is good to get my thoughts out on, well, one, get my thoughts out there, and also clear my mind and know what I need to do. Because having bottled up emotion and bullshit and not explaining, even explaining to myself, is helpful, because I understand what happened and how I need to change, or what I need to do. Okay, hard. I will see you tomorrow.